We had a dream to travel and see the world as locals and not as tourists. After a lot of hard work, we decided in 2021 to downsize and sell almost everything we owned. We then put our house on the market. We bought a fifth wheel, which we named Serenity, and then we hit the road to see the US. We are working to build the Bald Traveler into a travel resource for geeks and nerds who want to travel and see where their fandoms are based. We encourage you to subscribe and comment to follow along on our journey. Let's get ready to travel baldly together.
I work from home, and we were just finding that the space with this extendable table just wasn't working for me. Dave and I both tend to eat either outside or from our recliners, so we don't really need it for a dining space. And when I'm sitting here working, I was sitting one side or the other, and I have double monitors, and it's just not a good use of space. We decided to give it a try replacing this with a 6-foot long desk. So we've got a slab that we're going to bring in, but first we needed to take this apart. So what I've done is I've taken off 6 screws from underneath the table. 6, yes. So 3 on each side, and that allowed my husband to lift off all of the wood portions of the table. And now I'm going to look into how to remove it from the wall. It looks like we've got some screws here and here, and then also several through here, and then quite a few through the floor. So it's actually pretty well secure, of course, but that'll be my next step, is to get rid of all this metal. We're going to have to work in the wood with the design of the desk, because behind here is the outdoor TV. So unfortunately I can't get rid of this completely, but I think it'll work fine, and I've seen several examples online where people have added a desk at about this height, and you can use this for like storage cubby, things like that. So we're going to have to work on how to make that meet and work with the tabletop, but I think it'll be okay. So yeah, the screws back here are the square screws. I'm not sure of the official name of them, but it's not a Phillips head, it's an actual square bit. And that's what I'm using here to get out these screws. It's not good when you forget and try to use a Phillips, which is what I was doing a few minutes ago, but so now I should be able to take these out pretty easily. Move. Okay. It does look like we'll have to take off this full piece together. We could probably take these off if we had to, but I think it's more trouble than it's worth. It does look like there are separate pieces here that I can remove this arm. More power. So yeah, it looks like it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 screws on each leg, plus these 2, and then it looks like there's 3 into the floor, and then we should be able to move this whole piece off. I'm going to go ahead and move it here and get these. Of course, don't lose track of your screws. That one was tiny compared to the other screws. I'm going to keep an eye on that and see why. This was also quite a bit shorter. If you have one of those drills with the lights on the end, this would be a good place to use them. And then up here again. Yep, and that is enough to knock it loose. So I'm going to get my husband to hold this up a little bit, and then I'll get the final ones out of the floor. And of course, they're a little harder to get to, but they're very short. That surprises me too, but that's why it's moving so much, I guess, right now. So most of your support is coming from being screwed into this structure, the wooden structure, not from the floor. Actually, this one I can take out with my fingers. Right, we've already removed the dining room table, and now we're looking to put a new desktop in. So this is a tabletop that we got from IKEA. I believe it's in their custom countertop section. So this was 74 inches long. We have not cut it at all yet. So as you can see, this fits exactly. Like, there is no space. We actually couldn't even put it in flat, just like straight in here, because this little bit of trim is actually too wide. So we had to angle it in to get it beyond the trim and then slide it up. At this point, we've decided that this is sticking out too far right now. So we're going to cut out this section here that's going to allow the tabletop to scoot into the cabinet. We did the same thing on this side. We're not going the full distance back. It's about 8 7/8 from here to the back wall. And the reason we're not doing that mainly is because we're trying to avoid this trim right here. Again, this is so tight that we'd have to take this trim out, or at least cut a notch. Not a huge deal, but we kind of just want to avoid it. That'll also leave us a gap in the back so that when we run cords up, we can just pull them up to the back of the table. So I think that makes sense. These braces were left from the original table. They used to be flush with this piece of wood here. We've moved them up about 1/2 inch, and we're going to reuse them to fasten underneath our table just to make sure it's good and sturdy. So we're going to screw up from this way into our tabletop once it's installed. And again, that just gives us that little extra assurance that it's going to be secure, because we do have table legs. So it will have legs itself, but that's just going to help make sure that when we're going down the road, it doesn't move.